It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. We're coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. I am Ajua Tinkrama. Domina coming up.
When they are punished for the public to be made aware to serve as a deterrent. The essence of arresting people and prosecuting them and putting it out there is that it sends a message.
Security analyst Professor Kwesi Enin demands public disclosure of individuals behind the 1220 food shipping containers filled with counterfeit money and suspected gold bars at Sapeman. We'll also hear from the assembly member for the area who has declared residents' readiness to support with investigations.
Maybe somebody has additional information from the community to add. We can assist them so that they get through with their investigation quickly.
Still in the bulletin.
We also want the passport office to become a 24-hour passport office, and we need to go full digitalization, cut down the inconvenience.
Foreign Affairs Minister announces committee to oversee rollout of 24-hour passport application as he begins work as minister today. We have more on the first day of some newly sworn-in ministers at work. Stay with us for details of these and more stories coming up in the next 30 minutes. Remember, the news is live around the globe on citinewsroom.com. For now, though, the ad hoc committee in Parliament, which is probing the chaos during the vetting of some ministers designate, is sitting today. We know that the Minority Caucus has served notice of recusing itself from the committee hearings over the chairman of the committee, Emmanuel Bedra, following their demands for his change. Currently, the committee is sitting. Let's cross over now and join the conversation.
Then the evidence would have been very clear that this, when we say a decision was taken or a decision was not taken, it is the votes that will speak to it. And then,
excuse me, just a quick one. I know that is the ideal situation, but
so
a situation that a minority taking a decision, they will not abide by the rules of the game, and they will always want to go by that tangent. What are we doing
now? As leader, I think the prudent thing for any chairman that will be confronted with a similar situation in the future is to change venue. You change venue and then you report. Because if we have changed, for instance, that Thursday, if we have changed our location to Speaker's Conference Room, for instance, or to any other committee room, I'm sure by the time we would have relocated, order would have been restored. I don't think they would have carried the chaotic scenes here to the new committee room. So change of venue when you are confronted with the matters such as this is also very important, because venue plays a great deal when it comes to these matters. Then 3, we must also insist on having a certain number of persons to invite to support the nominees. The present system, the committee set its own guidelines and said every nominee should come with 10. But we've seen situations where nominees have been here with hundreds of people, even in some cases more than hundreds of people. And so they mill around the presence of Parliament, and some of these non-accredited members filter through to the committee room and the committee's proceedings. And so when there are issues like this, it's very difficult. Then finally, for me, Mr. Chairman, we must have time frames for the ranking member to pose his questions. It may be a practice that the ranking member will have open-ended, unlimited time to interrogate these matters. But
why only ranking member?
Well, for the members, or leadership, the chairman already has a way of determining how long you could go. So chairman could say that every member will have 3 substantive questions and 3 follow-ups, or 3 follow-ups, or 3 supplementary. So in all, a member, you know that you have 6 maximum questions, however you frame it. You could do that in 30 minutes, you could do that in 1 hour, but you have 6 questions. But when it comes to the ranking member, particularly on the committee, and I think on other committees as well, they are given so much power to interrogate matters ad infinitum. And I think that it poses a problem. They have such massive power, so they are able to, and they also have follow-ups to other members' questions. So if you have a ranking member who wants to be grandstanding, you really have problems. Your vetting could take days, and he says he has questions he's asking. So those guidelines should be properly streamlined. This will be my preliminary views on this matter as regarding the question posed to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Leader, we have listened to you, and I had some questions for you, but you have already answered part of the questions. But I will still make a follow-up on your submission. You indicated the difficulties in controlling, particularly the ranking member during the proceedings, because he could go on and on and on. You had this knowledge, and yet you programmed to have 8 people on a day, or if you like, you can even reduce it to 6. And from the calculation that we have done, you are probably a 15-member committee, and if each person were to spend 20 minutes from what you have indicated to us, and that means that it's not possible to, practically possible to have the 8 people vetted. Don't you think that you should have had, when you decided that you were going to have 8 people, you should have had a caucus meeting to determine how much time each person should spend, and also limit, even though that is not the practice, limit the ranking members time in terms of, because you had a long business to do. So if you don't discipline yourselves, if you don't you don't allocate time to people, then it is practically impossible for you to complete that work. And so you were going to do, you had proposed something which, in my view, you knew that it was not possible to do. And probably that is the reason why the minority side said that they were tired. And they were tired because they had sat there for a very long time. Is there no way? I said you have already answered part of it, but don't you think that that particular day, if you had had a caucus meeting, probably you would have done better in terms of programming for the 8 people that you wanted to vet that particular day?
Chairman, thank you very much. It wouldn't have been a caucus meeting, but pre-hearing meeting of the committee. Now, we do that every morning before proceedings commences publicly. In fact, if we leave our offices, normally we do the pre-sitting meetings at the conference room of the First Deputy Speaker, Chair. Often, when we leave there, we still hold pre-sitting meetings in one of the holding rooms here, even before we go public. So these are not matters, you and I, we are here, you know how fluid these matters are. Sometimes you plan to vet 4, and you time yourself that for each candidate you may spend not more than 2 hours. The candidate appears in 5 minutes, the candidate is gone. You see, so it's not cast in stone. Because on days that you think the ranking member will go full hall, he surprises you and says, "I have no question." Then as the whip, you want to manage your business. So as much as possible, you want to program as many as is reasonably possible to vet in a day. When we get tired, when exhaustion sets in later in the day, we can offload to the next day. But this one, they just decided. I'm still searching for what caused their decision not to continue with the vetting on Thursday. They won't tell me. But something must have snapped, somewhere. And they just said, no way, they won't continue. Otherwise, we've done vetting 10 p.m., 11 p.m. We know it's the time. After these times, there will be no vetting for this committee for a long time, except for Supreme Court and that thing. So, when the season is here, it's the committee's time to work. You may also not be using the prudent time or the time and resources of Parliament prudently when you know that you could do 6 and yet you program for 3. So these are balancing act. But going forward, I agree with you that where there's so much consensus building, these things are easily manageable. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chief Whip.
It's my sister.
What do you think about the minority leader's reaction to the clerk?
They are sisters too. They are family too. They are families. So it's difficult to find the Honorable Apenyomakin take to Auntie Gifty, as we call her, the clerk, to the committee that way, in that manner. Politics. It's politics that will make a brother do that to a sister. Otherwise, there was no need to label her NDC clerk. That tarring, that labeling was totally unnecessary. But politics makes man do the unthinkable sometimes. And so I wasn't surprised when the apology came, because my brother, for him to apologize, he must have really reconsidered the matter and was, So unfortunate as it was, but Gifty, I've told her those are also the hazards of a job. When I was suspended, she told me that's the hazards of my job. So I asked her to take it in her stride. But it was terrible, very emotionally challenging for her and the family. But when apology came, I'm sure it settles it.
So you agree that maybe the occupational hazards are getting a bit more hazardous? Would you say that?
I agree with you, especially when by deliberate design we're encouraging more women to get into spaces that were hitherto left for men. Not just the mainstream politicking, but public services like parliamentary service that help the political machinery to move. You need more women to come in. So when women get to this level, you need to encourage them.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
So you heard that the Majority Chief Whip, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekpo, appearing before the committee that has been set up to investigate the chaos that ensued before the appointment committee vetting somewhere last 2 weeks. Well, the Minority Caucus has temporarily withdrawn from participating in the work of this ad hoc committee established to investigate the chaos. Now, the caucus had earlier called for the removal of the committee's chairman, Emmanuel Bejura, citing concerns of bias and a potential conflict of interest. While their request is yet to be addressed, the minority has stated that it will not engage in the committee's proceedings until a response is received from the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Babin. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. A quick reminder that we are live on some affiliate stations as well. In the Western region, this is Premier 100.5 FM in Takoradi, Beach 105.5 FM also in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we are on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyang. In the Shanti region, find us on Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. If you're in the Volta region, tune in to Holy 98.5 FM in Apalawo. Northern region, this is Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In Upper East Ward 88.3 FM in Zuarungu. And in the Upper West region, Bugli Radio 88.6 FM in Wa. Still ahead in the bulletin, Citi FM and Channel 1 TV launch highly anticipated 2025 Back to Your Village Food Festival, promising a showcase of Ghana's unique culinary heritage. We have details of this and more stories coming up shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
This March, we invite you to splash in the pool of cultural expressivity and soak yourself in the celebration of indigenous authenticity in our Heritage Month. Join us for the Heritage Month launch on Friday, February 28th, as we kick off a month of unforgettable experiences. Pack your bags for the Heritage Caravan, a week-long adventure across Ghana from March the 2nd to the 9th. Discover the beauty and history of our land.
An opportunity to see Ghana in a more beautiful and the people, the connection.
Savor the flavors at the Back to Your Village Food Festival, a culinary extravaganza on March 29th and 30th.
The millet tozafi, the corn tozafi, we have the tubani, we have the wache, we have the dawadawa jollof rice. We also serve the local northern beverages. That's pito and zonko.
Taste the essence of Ghana.
The first one I was here, the second one I was here, the third one I was here, this one and the fourth one. And it's not just a bazaar, it's a festival now. And I'm so excited because this is what we should be doing.
Tune in to the Heritage On Air series on 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. Each week, delve into what makes us Ghanaians.
Owusu is a general account name. It's Dev's character. Owusu. So that is why the appellation is Owusu Eduam. You see, when an Ashanti says Eduam, it means something that belongs to him. So Dev's character, he comes to you and grab you as if it belongs to him.
Explore our places of interest, feel the rhythm of our music, journey through our religious history, and indulge in indigenous Ghanaian food. Join us to celebrate our heritage this Heritage Month, where every moment is a story. Only on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM.
Let's Hayford, Nelson Saba, background, Sergeant Ajete, and all who.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Welcome back to the bulletin. Let's bring you some other stories. Security analyst Professor Kwesi Enin has urged the government to publicly name those behind a covert stash of counterfeit money and suspected gold bars discovered in Sapeman in the West municipality. Once investigations conclude, now acting on a tip-off, national security teams raided a warehouse in Sapeman, uncovering 12 20-foot shipping containers. Inside, they found bundles of fake US dollars packed in wooden boxes and concealed in cement. Additional items seized included counterfeit Ghanaian cedi notes and fake Ghana Army uniforms and boots, further heightening security concerns. Speaking to Citi News, Professor Kwesi Enin stressed that the perpetrators can indeed be apprehended.
It's easy to find those who are involved because money always leaves a paper trail. They pick up some laptops, they pick up some smartphones. Who are these people? Who are their family members, friends? Where did they do their banking? How did the goods come in? dictatorships manifest. People very quickly are arrested and placed before a court of competent jurisdiction. And when they are punished, for the public to be made aware to serve as a deterrent. The essence of arresting people and prosecuting them and putting it out there is that it sends a message that if you do this, we will catch you. And when we catch you, we will punish you. But what happens in this country is that if you do it, the chances of being caught are tiny. And even if we catch you, you can be rest assured that nothing much might happen.
Security analyst Professor Kwesi Enin. Meanwhile, Assembly member for the Sapeman electoral area, Elom Avemega, has urged national security leadership to keep residents informed as the investigation progresses. He noted that some residents are prepared to assist by providing valuable information.
We want to be updated on what is happening. We don't want to be kept in the dark. Because yesterday when I got there and I spoke to the officer in charge, he told me that if I want to get any information, I should speak to the National Security Authority, and that they have just been deployed to take charge of the outskirts of the perimeter. And so it leaves us not to have much information as to what is going on, whether the items will be moved from there, whether it will be kept there, what is the state of the issue after they have even moved the items or not. We want to get first-hand information. Maybe somebody has additional information from the community to add. We can assist them so that they get through with their investigation quickly.
You heard Elom Afebeka. He's assembly member for the Sapeman electoral area in the Gan West municipality of the Greater Accra region. Now, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has unveiled a committee to oversee the rollout of the government's 24-hour passport application office. He also announced the formation of a separate committee to address migration and welfare of Ghanaians abroad. During his inaugural meeting with foreign service staff, the minister outlined plans for a performance assessment program for employees and a comprehensive review of service conditions, including the reintroduction of a duty waiver for foreign service personnel.
To hit the ground running, today we shall inaugurate 2 committees. The first committee will be on passport reforms. There's been a great deal of concern